Welcome to this lecture on orthogonal projection and the Gram-Schmidt orthonormalization process. The Gram-Schmidt process requires a fundamental knowledge of orthogonal projection. So first let us look into that. In the graphic that we see, we are projecting the vector u on the vector v. So we complete the right triangle and first determine the scalar projection of u on v. This is determined by the rule u dot v divided by the magnitude of v. If this is multiplied with a unit vector along v, we get the vector projection of u on v. So let us try to do a problem which can be used to understand the scalar and vector projections. Now u is 3, 4 and v is 5, minus 12, which are two vectors in the R2 space. So the scalar projection of u on v given by u dot v divided by magnitude of v returns minus 33 by 13. And the vector projection of u on v is this quantity multiplied by the unit vector along v, which returns minus 165 by 169, 396 by 169. Once the projection is understood, the Gram-Schmidt process can be taken up. The Gram-Schmidt process does two things. From a set of linearly independent vectors which are non-orthogonal, it returns a new set of mutually orthogonal vectors, and we can also transform these new orthogonal vectors into orthonormal vectors. Having an orthonormal vectors, set of orthonormal vectors is beneficial because we can define a new coordinate system. Now, let us try to understand the principle behind the Gram-Schmidt process. In this figure, we have two vectors u1 and u2, which are not mutually orthogonal, from which we would like to construct two more vectors v1 and v2, which are mutually orthogonal and which span the same space. So as you can see, it all begins with synchronizing v1 with u1 and calculating v2 using the projection rule. So if you want to find v2, you have to subtract out the projection of u2 on v1 from u2. Let us see a problem. Consider a basis S having three vectors 1, 2, 2, minus 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 1 from the R3 space. Let us first check for their orthogonality. Designate these three vectors as u1, u2, u3 and check their dot products. u1 dot u2 or u1 dot u3 or u2 dot u3 are not 0. Clearly they are not orthogonal. So we would like to transform this into a new set of mutually orthogonal vectors with the Gram-Schmidt process. Let the new vectors be v1, v2 and v3. Synchronize v1 with u1. To construct v2, subtract out the projection of u2 on v1 from u2. If you want to construct v3, subtract out the projections of u3 on both v1 and v2 from u3. So these rules have to be clearly followed. So once we have v1, v2 and v3, we check for their orthogonality. v1 dot v2 or v1 dot v3 or v2 dot v3 are all 0, establishing that these are mutually orthogonal. Now we would like to go further and transform them into orthonormal vectors. So let the new vectors that we construct be w1, w2 and w3. w1 will equate to v1, so that is 1, 2, 2. But if you observe v2, the three components are fractions with denominator 3. So let us call w2 as 3 times v2 and build the vector minus 4, minus 2, 4. Similarly, the vector v3 has got fractional components with 9 as a common denominator. So let us construct w3 as 9 times v3 and we get 2 minus 2, 1. Now let us build the orthonormal vectors e1, e2, e3 by dividing w1, w2 and w3 by the respective norms. And we get the three vectors e1, e2, e3 as 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 2 by 3, minus 2 by 3, minus 1 by 3, 2 by 3, and 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3, 1 by 3. Thus, the set E1, E2, E3 forms an orthonormal basis, which means they are orthogonal, and further, they are all of unit length. This is a very, very important aspect of linear algebra, where the Gram-Schmidt process is used to construct an orthonormal basis from a set of vectors which are linearly independent but not orthogonal. The importance of Gram-Schmidt process can be seen when we discuss the QR factorization of a matrix.